The next upload that I'm going to share about today is basically the obstruction of justice. In the previous upload I just mentioned there about the role of artificial intelligence and the contradictory practices that are involved in certain issues that are surrounding the human rights violations that I'm experiencing. Basically, there's a very serious obstruction of justice occurring, and basically the lengths that people are going to prevent me as an adult, as a law-abiding citizen, as a mother, as a deserted wife, etc., to prevent me from achieving my rights and my compensation that I'm owed for the defamation of my character, reputation and good name, and the damage done to my bodily integrity, etc., is an ongoing issue that I'm going to continue to keep sharing about, simply due to the violations that I'm experiencing of inviolability of dwellings and basically of stalking. As a victim of hate crime, there have been people harassing my human rights and basically stalking. That's basically what it is. Individuals that I have not ever met, that I have no knowledge of, that I don't know, that have intruded and imposed upon me simply because of my marital rights, my property rights, and other matters surrounding that issue. These people that have been stalking and harassing my human rights have been absolutely unashamedly making the most audacious and defamatory claims and causing the most serious of problems without any consideration for the consequences. The damage done to children's rights and women's rights and civil liberties is absolutely horrendous. If anyone's to think back to the 1960s when the Kennedys were working with ethnic groups in America to defend civil liberties of Afro-Americans and other ethnic groups, for this to be happening in 2020 in a democracy against a professional adult, a victim of hate crime, a law-abiding citizen, is absolutely shameful for any government or any politicians or any authorities to be turning a blind eye to. So basically, as you'll see from my uploads, I'm getting a little bit irritated with these people that have been stalking me. As I've mentioned, there's been no advocacy, there's been no services, there's been obstructions to justice, there's been information withheld from me, etc. And the most sinister of problems caused for no reason except due to my marital rights. So the other issues of children's rights that have been occurring, the issues being very serious violations, have been ignored also by the authorities. So as a teacher that has had respect for my students in the past, in Ireland and abroad, this is absolutely outrageous and grotesque and sickening. To think that any people that are involved in any kind of spiritual progression, as they so think, with whatever kind of developments they're making, to be violating an authentic light worker and to be thinking that these kind of spiritual gifts are just like for sale when they feel like it, is not so. The violation of spiritual sovereignty as a light worker, and for the knowledge of those that are involved in this assault of my spirituality and my spiritual identity, there, as I have said, no possibilities for any others to violate the spirituality of another sentient being. So as you can see, I'm getting irritated with this stalking that's going on. As I've said, I've been harassed from my marital home, my family home, and now I'm in public accommodation, and there's financial abuse being perpetrated and financial theft. The authorities have gotten a victim impact statement. The authorities are aware of the facts of this situation and how irrational and unjustifiable the assaults of my character and reputation and good name have been. The individuals that are new to these circumstances and don't understand the circumstances properly, for their knowledge, I'd like to just share that this sentient being is non-negotiable. Human rights and the violation of an authentic light worker and my royalty is a very serious offence. So for all that has been done in this situation, and for the lies that have been told, and for the falsehoods and disinformation that are involved in this, that people have not clarified or established factually or accurately, I worry about the outcome for these kind of circumstances when people don't know what they're doing or what they're talking about. So basically, for those suffering from imposter syndrome and delusions of grandeur about their newfound wealth from what they've exploited from me, I'd like to let them know that there is no good to come from such a situation. As regards the authorities that haven't acknowledged the victim impact statement that I've sent, then I worry for all women being harassed or stalked. This is what's happening. This is ongoing since I got married, and this is unpleasant. This isn't by any means defamatory of the county, but it's a sad sign of the times. And for the authorities that are fully aware of the facts, that are ignoring the seriousness of the injustice that I'm experiencing, then I hope they understand how insulting and injurious it is for a deserted wife, mother, and teacher that has been experiencing financial theft and exploitation and bodily integrity violations and spiritual assault, etc., etc. I've experienced it all since I've been married. I hope the authorities know the consequences of these kind of circumstances to be ignored, especially for a victim of what I've already experienced over 10 years ago. So for the members of the fellowship, this is an irate member. Since 2006, I have worked with the fellowship and for the fellowship voluntarily and helped others in the community. So, you know, for this kind of intrusion to be happening is just despicable. And the people that are intruding upon my private life, and the professionals in particular that have to lie through their teeth to help a very ill-serving agenda, then I feel sorry for your sense of morality and ethics. So those that are constantly making efforts to further denigrate and debase a qualified professional that has been victimized and violated, I'd kindly ask you to check your consciences, and especially with regards to the future of young people in this situation after what's happened in recent times with regards to children's rights violations. So this upload hopefully will give you some food for thought. And as regards the obstruction of justice that I'm experiencing and the compensation and financial wealth that has been withheld and stolen from me, I hope the authorities know the cost of damaging innocent life.